come into Kariba here, and then obviously we'll jump on a boat there and then take the boat all the way back across down here to Boomy Hills. And basically the hunting block runs pretty well around, follows this road here, and then the Omay River comes back into Kariba there, and then this dotted line is the border line there for the Tusadana National Park there. So that's one of the big hunting blocks there.
Zimbabwe is home for Michelle and Andy as well, and I've spent, a lot of time here as well. It's kind of my second home. We were in the northern part of Zimbabwe, up in an area called the Omay concession. It's an area that's, been hunted before, but, not a very widely publicized area. New outfitter that's got in the area now, Dalton Tink and York Murray, which are good friends of ours. York Murray is probably one of the best PHs in Africa, let alone Zimbabwe. He's learned from some of the best guys around. Gareth Brown was with us, which is probably one of the biggest PHs I've ever laid eyes on. He's got great humor and a lot of great experience, and he's very comforting in having, lead the line when you've got elephant coming in and you've got a little bit of all the dangerous game. As you move north, and get close into what they call the Zambezi Valley there. The buffalo hunting there, it's phenomenal hunting. But this time of the year in June, the bush can be thick. They've had lots of rain this year, so it makes things more challenging. You spend days upon days covering the ground, and it's hard hunting, but it's very rewarding in the end.
All right, here we are first morning. We're gonna get the gun sighted in this morning, and it's a beautiful morning here. We're right here, late June, 1st of July. So this is, I've got the little fella here. This is Mr. Gareth Brown, and he's gonna be our PH for this hunt. We're obviously here hunting with good friends of ours at Dalton and York Safaris. Some of the guns we've got here for this safari, we've got two old rifles that have had their days in what was Rhodesia back during the days before Zimbabwe was formed. This rifle here that Gareth's got, this is a Wesley Richards, chambered in .425 Wesley Richards. So it's a, you don't see this a lot. This is a bolt gun that Wesley Richards built. They didn't build many of these.
3 o'clock, about 2.5 inches.
Okay. Then we've got a Rigby 470 double rifle here that has spent its whole life here, and it's got a pretty good history behind it too. So a good friend of ours, Barry Van Heerden, it was his dad's rifle, Ronnie, and he worked obviously for parks and spent many years not too far from here in Wankie National Park. And that thing's culled lots of elephants through the years, and I was lucky enough to be able to acquire it from Barry, so we're going to keep it in the field doing things. So if you'll help me shoot straight, get me on.
100%, yeah, we're going to have a good time, and we've got some good things to shoot.
Yeah, well, let's get after it then.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Gunpowder.
So yeah, I'm happy with that, especially with open sights. Cool. From that distance, 100%. Yeah, if it was a scope, we would tighten it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
With open sights, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, well, cool deal.
Cool.
Let's go get her done.
Let's get it.
Thank you, Gary.
Let's go do some hunting.
All the first morning, so obviously enjoying the sun this morning and trying to get warmed up. All these different areas we go to and hunt this time of the year and things, but it's going to be a beautiful day, so we'll get back on and we'll carry on. And these are obviously big areas, so first morning just kind of doing our homework and putting things together. So let's load back up and
keep rolling. Their sun cream, their natural sun cream,
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Really?
Unbelievable. The natural sun cream is like FPS 100, and there's been half a thought to try and
see if you can make it into. Yeah,
how the hell are you gonna get this?
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's a dead baby hippo.
Nature, eh? But York was saying that sometimes in the pods, you know, the little babies, they get like caught in between two males fighting or just get trodden on or whatever.
Squashed.
Yeah. But maybe we shall use that, as Gareth says, for our crocodile bait. So.
There's a river, as you'll see as we get down here. And we've seen a big-bodied hippo. The chances of it being a bull is high. We've been alone up away from the lake, main lake like this, but we're just going to have a look and see. Make sure. I think it's definitely a bull, but it's a young bull. I think he's been pushed out from the herd, from the pod. He's definitely a bull, but he's not. You can see all the scratches and scars and everything on him. He's been hammered pretty badly. So the thing is, like I say, look at those oxpeckers on him. And now he'll go into the water and the fish will do the exact same thing and they'll tip, 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 tip. I think he's in big pain now. So this is my 458 lot, and there's a bit of a story behind it. Ian Gibson was actually carrying this weapon when, unfortunately, he had that run-in with that elephant. And I was actually at his funeral, and I'm very good friends with Jason Gibson, Ian's son. And Jason pulled me aside and said, "Listen, what do I do with all my dad's guns?" So I said, "Listen, I'm a firm believer that if you have a gun, you need to use a gun." Right. And he's not into the hunting world and anything like that. So I said, take his favorite weapon, spike it, so take the fire pins out, fill the barrel, whatever, and keep it as an heirloom. And he said his favorite weapon was his 458, and he said, I want to give something back to the hunting industry, what the hunting industry gave him and his family. So
that's a cool
story. That is
story.
absolutely amazing.
And there's one deal with this, is I never sell it. I always hand it down to someone who deserves it.
No, that's so nice.
So that's got me out of some trouble a few times.
Yeah, sure. And as long as it keeps
always
back,
will.
that's fine. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool.
York was crippled up. He's got a whole story on that from a snake, a big Mozambique speeding cobra that caused him problems about a month ago on a previous leopard hunt.
Lunch with the Mapani flies, just before the stalk on the Dugga boys.
He was a trooper there with his crutches every day, on tracks with us in the truck, lending support, and obviously he knows the Omay like the back of his hand. He grew up there.
Cheers.
Guys, cheers.
See you in a bit.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you in a little while.
100%. And they added again. Got 3 Dugga boys here the guys are going to go and look at. And there's a few little rivers here you would have seen on the episode last year with Andrew. We got one of the Dugga boys in there, which is quite cool. Back in familiar territory.
Straight through this gap here. You can see the back of one. You can just see like his ear sticking up. Oh gosh. We're just gonna go quietly, closer. Wait. The one
How do I look sad?
that one moving to the right. Okay. It's all calmed down now.
Yeah, we made the best out of really a quick situation. You know, last night, wonderful, nice, one big dugga boy in there. You know, actually all of them were, but one exceptionally nice one out of those three. So about 100-yard shot off the stick. So probably pushing a little far, but you know, that's how memories are made. So we'll head back to the truck before the sun's fully out on us, and we'll try again in the morning. You know, I missed an opportunity at a really nice old dugga boy there. You know, overshot the top of him by a little bit and had a clean miss, but we were concentrating in an area that was, you know, known to York and stuff, that what they called the House of Dugga Boys. So we didn't see many herds in that area, which is a good thing. You know, I've never particularly enjoyed hunting herds. Most outfitters and safari operators don't. But you've got to have enough of those old cantankerous bulls around to be able to pick up tracks and follow. And you know, frankly, I just overshot, you know, the one bull that we were after. You know, you perseverance, you keep on it, and you know, hey, that's hunting, and that's how things go. So one of the difference in obviously in Zimbabwe, but most other countries, is you do have different type of hunting blocks and hunting areas. You know, the Omay is an area that's more of a communal area. You do have the presence of a lot of villages and stuff that obviously live there and thrive there.
So you'll see when we've been driving around, a lot of the little kids start shouting and saying, container, container, container. So what they want them for is, you know, like our empty plastic bottles or whatever, because they use them to put this mud in, and this is how they make their bricks here. I mean, these guys are so ingenious with what they use. So yeah, this guy's obviously got his section of bricks here drying out, and I guess ready to use whenever he needs a new hut or whatever. So pretty cool.
The whole concession from Omay North to Omay South, we were hunting Omay North. You know, there's about 600,000 to 700,000 acres of hunting there in that block and stuff. There's easily probably a dozen to 24 villages that are kind of scattered throughout the block and stuff, but obviously as you get closer, you know, to the lake and stuff, you've got these local villages and the local people that are using the lake. Obviously fishing and everything else is a way to support, you know, their families and whatnot. Obviously with hunting operators in these blocks, when you get the really good operators that are really conservation driven and minded, and everything's being worked around one common goal, you know, it's really neat to see how these villages can become part and coexist with the wildlife. You know, I obviously enjoy, you know, spending time with the local culture and the local people and seeing the impact and the dollars that hunters make, you know, to make these areas what they are and continue hunting and conservation.
So it's a buku bottle that's been melted over the top of an old pot, and then they take a rope that they've made out of a 50 kg sack that runs on a bottle with a wheel, and that vibration from the rope going through the plastic echoes through the drum at the back.
Oh, so clever.
Manya na? Lango na puya.
This is Africa!
Yay! Thank you guys.
You know, know, this particular hunt with a lot of hunts in the Omay, you know, you interact with the villages, and one of the areas that we were hunting that I truly enjoyed spending time in is hunting, obviously, buffalo in amongst these little villages.
Hey, my dagger boy, where does you play that anymore? You can tell this also. It's very old.
You've got your little farm, you know, your small fields and stuff that got different types of you know, crops in and whatnot, and different types of year. You've got the wildlife that kind of comes in and causes havoc for these folks. And then obviously you get that really close encounter with human and wildlife.
So the guys are on tracks and looking, and evidently this buffalo has come right past. I mean, we're right in the middle of the villages here. And you can see how much wood they've used and how well they've protected this vegetable here. This lighter green vegetable is called muriwo, and it grows really, really well. It needs a lot of water, but it's their main source of you know, of vegetables. So well protected. But I can't believe buffalo is just walking straight past. I mean, there'll be days, I'm sure, when people are in here tending to the veggies that he's probably just walking on by. So hopefully we can catch up with him.
Probably one of the greatest contributions that the team can make in general is usually the trackers. And it's pretty phenomenal to be able to see the working relationship that each professional hunter has, you know, usually with 2, sometimes 3 different trackers.
The guys are a little bit slow, but it's understanding. It's very hard tracking. It's only one animal. So we just let them do their job. They're good at their job. Let them do it.
They come from different areas as them, but it's amazing how certain areas keep producing the same old school trackers. You know, we had Sonny Boy and we had Jito with us, and then we had another tracker named Kosinga. The 3 of those guys were phenomenal old school Zimbabwean trackers. I don't think on this particular trip, I don't know that we ever lost the track even one time. And this particular time, you know, being, you know, late June into July, I mean, the grass is tall, the cover's thick, the ground's hard. You know, there's places and times in there that, you know, myself even is hunting as many buffalo as I've had, you know, I can't even find the track in there. But it's amazing, these guys always lead you to the game at the end. You know, and a lot of times it goes unrecognized until you see it over and over and over.
Don't shoot the young man. Come off the sticks. So close. Yeah, young bull.
It's not uncommon in these areas like the Omay to pick up tracks first thing in the morning and go all that morning, all afternoon. You know, obviously with the wind swirling and everything else, you've got to kind of pick your moment to approach. You know, we were in buffalo the whole time. You know, just couldn't either get the right exact shot opportunity or just ran out of daylight, quite frankly. You know, and that's how it goes on all these trips. You work for these things. You know, you're up early. I mean, every morning we were up, you know, 3:30, 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you don't get back to camp until late in the evening. You just keep putting your boots on every day, but that's one of the things I enjoy about hunting these wild areas, and you know, it's part of the fun, especially with buffalo as well.
Distance. Dugga boys.
Buffalo 7, Hunter 0 again. But I promise you, these are some of the hardest buffalo to hunt, probably anywhere. But that's what makes it fun. So we got hammered by the pawnee flies and everything today in the heat, but it's just how it goes. We'll stay at it.
You know, the hunting's got to be serious, and you know, there's always that game face on, but you know, being back in camp at night and having a big group of folks and everybody kind of having their own little individual hunts going on, it's always nice to be able to help each other pick the morale up, have some great conversation and a lot of laughs along the way.
Team Johnson. Oh, what about your card? Why winner, Johnson?
So we're in the Omay North, and Lake Kariba, with all the rains we've been having, fills up from Angola now this time of the year, and with it filling up, all these little streams and estuaries are pushing way back up the rivers, and these big crocs have come in and they're trying to put in their new territories, and that's why they're all fighting with each other. And we're going to put a bait show now and see what big males we can get on. Quite cool.
So we've been in this area again this morning. We went down and baited up for a big crocodile that's down here right on that shore of the lake right here. On the way in here this morning, we cut some tracks of 3 bulls this morning that were fresh. So we've got the bait site set up, so we've come back. We're going to get on the tracks of these and follow these buffalo and see if we can't take something out of here. And York and Mish are going to head back to the blind and scout for crocs. So hopefully we'll connect on both today. So it's hot today, but so far no mopani flies. So that's a good thing.
Jalo Dombo.
What is it? Hit a rock. Obviously I mistaked a particular buffalo bull that was bedded up in some really thick cover, and between the shadows and the light, I seen the most beautiful bull I've ever seen there, and I took a shot and turned out to be nothing but a big black rock. And the bull that I was after was obviously standing just above the rock. But you know, that's the way it goes. It makes for memories. And once we did the follow-up, everything revealed, and we had a beautiful big chunk missing out of a beautiful rock from a 470.
You know, you stepped out a little bit, right? And he was, his ass was probably where you are. Yeah. We've given them enough time to calm down. Let's go.
You know, with the tractor staying on the track and keeping a good attitude, and 30, 45 minutes later, had an opportunity again at, you know, some more dugga boys there. We were on tracks in some really thick cover and everything, and you know, once we emerged from the cover there in the bottom of the creek bed, there they were. There was another bull there that was a nice shooter bull. You know, it all unfolds and happens in, you know, a matter of 5, 10, 15 seconds.
One time.
We got it.
Guys.
You know, we got lucky and we caught up with them again, and at that point in time we had about an 80-yard shot, and one shot, one kill basically, and down it went.
Let's go there, in between the legs. You know where to do it?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
That's what we like to hear.
That's how you do it.
This buffalo, let me tell you, has given us the runaround.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We just had to get the right opportunity.
How was that? Eh?
That
You
was
couldn't
like
have asked for it to happen any better.
But that goes to show you never give up and you never put your guard down. Never, ever, ever.
Chad, I promise you, I think this is my best buffalo. Personally, this is my best buffalo. I'm being serious. Size, hunt, everything.
And we had the whole range of emotion with it.
On a hangover, I might add, because we had a leopard party last night.
Yes, and then here we are.
Is it the one you posted the other day?
The exact one.
And today.
Yeah, well done, Boyki, well done. We take beer now.
That's it.
Hello.
You know, in the end, we worked hard and we were still able to harvest a really nice old dugga boy that ended up going 44 inches, one of the widest bulls I've shot.
So the guys tie a knot in the tail of the animal, so they will do it on a buffalo, a giraffe, and basically it gives it, telling it to go nicely into the afterlife, because when the guys eat the meat, they get upset stomach if they don't tie a knot, if it doesn't go into the afterlife nicely and calmly.
That's cool.
So it's day 6 here at the Omay, and it's been a struggle. Day 1, got onto them, and this exact bull in this area, Chad missed, as we all do, and yeah, ever since then they've just been giving us a run around. We've been on tracks every day, just haven't caught.
We've worked hard though.
No, we have.
All the hot days and all the Mopani flies and everything.
Half 3 wake ups.
Yes.
No, it's been tough, and yeah, and you do kind of lose a bit of power and just focus. And everything changed. The guys last night on the other truck, Dalton, shot an awesome leopard, and of course, as tradition goes, a leopard party happened last night. So, geez, we only left camp at 11:30 today in the morning.
Yeah.
And yeah, we only got out here at 2. Different kind of buffalo hunting, leaving at 11:30, and yeah, it all happened so fast. Got onto the tracks, tracked 10-15 minutes, and there he was again, and Chad missed again, it happens, and anyway we refocus, get back together, give a bit of a pet talk, and yeah, off we go. And half an hour later we were standing up on top of a ridge there for a good 10 minutes and talking, and they're in the thicket here. I didn't see them, and as we start coming down, one of the trackers saw 2 of them, and he was walking onto us, and there he lay.
So the third time was a charm. So well, we took advantage of the situation then, and I can't thank you enough for keeping things calm, and you're a phenomenal PH, and just a wonderful guy to go to, and the crew we had from York and Dalton and the tracking team and everything. Like I said, I've missed very few buffalo in my life, but for whatever reason, this old big bull here gave us a run around, and thankful for it. So here we are. We're going to try to get this thing cut and quartered up. We've only got about an hour light left, and we're back in the hills here a pretty good way. And the Omay's an awesome area. It's true wild Africa, and You know, we've shot loads and loads of buffalo in every country in Africa, and but I have to say this is some of the toughest raw old school hunting, you know, that I've done. And I appreciate to be able to enjoy the moment with you and the whole team. And
Clever old dugga
yeah,
boys.
it is. So let's get to cutting on him, and
Definitely.
We'll get him cut up, and we'll get him shipped back to Texas, and we'll send him straight to Woodbury Taxidermy.
Awesome.
Nyama, nyama.
Nyama, nyama.
Yeah, hold it under there. Twist it up a little bit. Yeah, like that.
Oh, there it is.
That's even better.
More impressive.
This is what you get when you come hunting with Buchanan Hunts and Dalton and York Safaris. Because of Lake Kariba, you get a lot of shoreline, and you get a lot of you know, cover there that lends itself great to hippo and croc hunting. You know, there's always areas you can shoot hippo, you know, in the water or whatnot, but the Omay is probably one of the best areas I've seen anywhere in Africa to chase hippo on land. You know, we spent a couple days doing that. Looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, you know, just pods of hippos and stuff, trying to pick out a nice big bull. We had some really, really close opportunities. I mean, at some point in there, I mean, we were 10, 15, 20 yards from some really nice bulls. Just wasn't ever able to get the shot off. You know, it's hot during the day when these hippos come out. You know, obviously spend their time in the water in the morning and evening. You know, just being there on the ground with these things, you know, it's an enormous animal, and you know, a really good opportunity to, you know, chase dangerous game up close.
Don't shoot. No, calm.
You know, we didn't get one shot, but that's fine. Seen some really nice big croc as well. You know, the last day we just frankly ran out of time, and but we had Michelle on a really nice croc and just didn't get it to show itself. But you know, we'll be back. You know, like I said, this area, phenomenal outfitter, phenomenal area, and you know, Michelle and I will be back, and she'll get revenge, you know, from there. The hunters itself, nobody ever gives enough credit to realize the impact that the dollars make, and whether the dollars make it, and then that triggers into obviously employment, you know, operators being able to support these areas and continue to, you know, put the dollars from the hunters back into the field to, you know, this particular hunt, to where, you know, just us hunters being in the field, the impact it makes, you know, with the local villages, from, you know, the meat that's, you know, gained from the trophies and whatnot and being distributed through the different villages. You know, it's amazing to be able to come back and forth from camp, whether in the morning or night, and you see 500, 600, 700, 800 folks along the way chanting the whole way, you know, nyama, nyama, nyama. Nyama! You know, they're looking, they're always wanting to help. You know, and even obviously in this part of the area where fishing's a big part of it, you know, supporting everything that we're doing. So those dollars, whether it's from tips, you know, it's funds, it's trophy fees to the operator, to the council, to the government, to Zim Parks, the ripple effect that it has is enormous. And without hunters coming and continuing to support the hunting industry, conservation, and wildlife as a whole, it'll be gone before you know it, if you're not willing to come put your money where your mouth is.
This is ridiculous. Yeah, we are lying in the dirt and we're like fishing right there.
That's more.
How was that, Mish?
That's okay. It was walking in the opposite direction. So
They were quiet.
yeah, quiet, no problem. When it's like that, it's fine. When they're coming towards me and going, I go. Woo. Go, man. Hey!
I didn't do the yet.
Happens.
I would say that's one very dead rock.
Yeah.